And hello, everybody. Welcome into Hitchhiker Chat. Tonight, it is Tuesday, and we're really excited about our topic for tonight. We, as y'all are aware, just finished a trip to Walt Disney World and Universal. Yes, we did. We did both Walt Disney World and Universal in the same week. Yes, we're kind of gluttons for punishment. But we wanted to talk, and we will cover our Walt Disney World trip and some of the, there's always something changing. There are always new things that they introduce, and so we will get into that next week. But we really, because Epic Universe just opened, we really wanted to get into that. Mandy Adams, hello. Boo to you, dear. Good to see you. Cocoa Bears has a question. Hello from California. Any buses from the airport? Any public buses that go from Disney Springs area to Universal Studios? I don't think so. Not that I know of. Cocoa Bears. I don't. Yeah, I don't know of any that do. So let's see. Let me get over here, guys, and see if I can. Well, I'll just do that later. William will be in a little bit later. Let me go ahead and catch up in chat. Texas takes it, and Heather, it's good to see you guys. I know that y'all have been to Epic Universe, so I'm really excited, about sharing our thoughts on this, and I would love to know your insights as well as we go through this, because you guys did a couple of live streams from there. I know that you went at least twice, right? Curtis family, hello. So I look forward. If there's anybody else who has been in chat, we would love to know what you think about Epic Universe. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of ground to cover. Great to see you, Amy. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm thinking not, Tina. I can't think of any. I mean, I don't know of any. If that's the case, then I'm unaware of it. That's a Jillian question. So maybe we can ask her about that when William comes in. He has probably taken care of the kiddos and putting them down. And so we appreciate you guys. Lucy Grace, hi. Good to see you, Lucy Grace. Welcome in. Good to see you. Let me go ahead, or wait on William. Let me go ahead, do this day in Disney history. We always like to do a little bit of this day in Disney history. We love it. They're over 100 years. Pardon me. Excuse me, over 100 years to look at, and we love to, to just cover a little bit. This day in Disney history in 1961, the King of Swing, Benny Goodman, returns to Disneyland with his big band for the start of date night. Last week, Goodman and his band had performed for Memorial Day weekend guests at Disneyland. That's really cool. That was in that set 61. Jumping forward to 1996, Disney's Hollywood Pictures premieres The Rock, which was an action film starring Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, and Ed Harris, as much of the story primarily takes place on Alcatraz Island, the small island in San Francisco Bay Area that once served as a lighthouse and a military prison and a federal bureau of prisons. The film's grand debut actually takes place on Alcatraz Island. So The Rock will be generally released on June 7th. I love that movie, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that in a while, it would be a good one to watch. I'm a huge Sean Connery fan, Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris all did a fantastic job with that movie. 2001, Disney's animated Atlantis, The Lost Empire, premieres in Hollywood at Disney's El Capitan Theater. Set in the year 1914 during the eve of World War I, the film tells the story of a young linguist named Milo who gains possession of a sacred book which he believes will guide him to the mythical city of Atlantis. The all-star voice cast includes Michael J. Fox, Corey Burton, Claudia Christian, James Garner, Jim Varney, and Leonard Nimoy. Now, this is one, guys, I don't think I've seen that. In fact, I'm almost positive that I have never watched that. And just looking at that lineup for the fantastic all star-studded cast there doing the voice work, I really need to watch that. Have you guys seen that? Atlantis. I bet it's on Disney Plus. 2005, Disney MGM hosts the third of 6 Star Wars weekends. Celebrity guests include Warwick Davis and Dawn Byes. Oh my goodness, how I wish they would bring back Star Wars weekends. Absolutely miss those terribly. And then the last one, 2011, Disneyland officially launched Star Tours. The adventure continues with a gala ceremony in Tomorrowland. The force is now strong on both coasts as Star Tours opened at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida just a few weeks ago. So that just happened in 2011. Does 2011 seem not so long ago to anybody else? So yeah, we love that. Lucy Grace, welcome in. Good to see you. Let's see. Let me catch up in chat. Epic at Night was a second part. The detail was off the charts for us. We had to, Ed. We and William should be in shortly. I'm sure that he's trying to put the boys down right now. But we have a lot of thoughts on Epic. We had and would be interested in so maybe we could have you guys on sometime pretty quick here. I'll send you a private message or give you a call. We would love to talk to you about Epic and what your impressions were. Y'all went twice, am I right? I think. Welcome in, Lucy Grace. Good to see you. Okay. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry about that cough. Get a little water. Changing climates from Florida back to Texas has been a little rough. It's kind of got my sinuses torn up. At any rate, again, we just returned from Walt Disney World and Universal Studios. William and Jillian were there the week before we were there, and then we came down with some friends and who hadn't been to Walt Disney World in a while and asked me to come along just because I'm really familiar with the parks, which was absolutely fantastic. Appreciate them so much, and I think everybody had a good time. But since Universal Studios opened on the 22nd, they wanted to go to Epic, or since Epic Universe opened, they wanted to go to Universal too. And so we said, okay, we're going to bite the bullet and do both, which I realize is a tall order because it was a lot of parks. It was a lot of walking. We really did pretty well. Had to cancel Hitchhiker Chat last week. I was really disappointed. I was going to go live for the Happily Ever After fireworks at Magic Kingdom, but weather prevented me from doing that. And I'm so sorry about that. I was really looking forward to it. And if you were in the chat, I really appreciate you for being in the chat for that. I really hated it, but it was raining, lots and lots of lightning. So we got a good bit of rain that day. But we, it was towards kind of the heavy rain came sort of in the afternoon. So we had a great day. We were still able to, ride pretty much everything that we wanted. And, but please check out, we did three live streams while we were there. Jillian did a Skyliner hop from Caribbean Beach Resort to Hollywood Studios. I went live from Hollywood Studios, and for the first time from Epic Universe. So if you want to see, see our live stream and, those first impressions, I wish that we had been able to go live more while we were there, but it was kind of a different trip. So hopefully sometime in the near future we can go back and do it again. But at any rate, check out those live streams, those last live streams, and I've posted several shorts as well, and I'll be posting a lot more in the next little bit. Let's see, let me catch up. That darn weather, I know, Dean. Yeah, I know. Okay, so Ed, y'all did a Friday and then Saturday pass holder preview. Okay, good deal. And I really enjoyed y'all's live streams from Epic. I really did. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to decide. Kind of trying to decide, guys, how to preface all this. I was sort of waiting till William got in. Let me give him just a couple more minutes to get in, and I'm going to go ahead because I know that my sister Susan is probably watching tonight. Today is Susan's birthday, and if you guys are familiar with the channel, you hear me talk about my sisters a lot, Susan and Joy. Today is Susan's birthday, and I want to wish her a very happy birthday. I wish I could be there to celebrate with you, sis, but I sent you a card from Hogsmeade. So hopefully you got my owl and enjoyed that. And so we see each other pretty soon, hopefully maybe the next couple weeks. So happy birthday to my sister Susan. We're going to give you a toot toot. This is our traditional celebratory train whistle from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So happy birthday, Susan. Sorry if anybody was wearing earplugs. I forgot to warn you. But happy birthday, Susan. I love you and miss you. And again, hope to see you in just a couple of weeks. I hope you've had a really wonderful day. Ed says Olive Berk was the most incredible detail. I had to watch the movies to catch up, which helped me appreciate it. I'm going to have to, to catch up as well. And Olive Berk, not Olive Berk, How to Train Your Dragon is going to be in theaters again pretty soon. So that's exciting. I've heard a lot of good things about Olive Berk, and we'll get into that. A little bit more. We're going to kind of work when William gets here. We're going to comes in. We're going to try to kind of take it in order, of how we the order of how we went through the parks, and share with you our impressions. But again, please check out the live streams while we were there. We did one from Epic that was really, really good. And we got a tour from one of the crew members of a little known and out of the way pub that is in Harry Potter world, the Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic area. So that was really a lot of fun on that live stream. Again, we'll recap Walt Disney World next week, but we wanted to do Epic Universe tonight. And I'm going to go ahead, guys. Let me hang on just a second. William should be in soon, but I'm going to go ahead and I go ahead and start, on the I did just kind of help you and show you some pictures and what have you. I'm going to do Looking forward to seeing that movie. I am too, Dean. I'll confess I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Yeah. Gosh. So I'm gonna have to watch it too. I'm really excited. I've seen a lot of a lot of our live streamers who have been in and who've seen Toothless and all the characters. It looks like tons of fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing the movie too and kind of familiarizing myself. It's pretty sharp of Universal to revive that movie, to have the land there and to breathe new life into that movie. Really cute. So I'm excited to see it too. Thanks for coming in, Dean. I know you'll be on Team Replay. So absolutely, absolutely. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead, guys, and we're going to talk about our tickets now. For those of you who may be watching, in ghost mode or watching on the replay, we wanted to cover just a little bit of background about ticketing and what they're offering right now for ticketing. When we first planned our trip, the only option that was available that this was a couple months ago, probably maybe a little bit longer. The only option that Universal offered was the 3-day ticket with one day per park, or with one of those big Epic Universe or the Park Hoppers, of course. Now, we went with the first option, the 3-day Park Hoppers with one day at Epic. Now, the Park Hoppers were between Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. And because Epic is not located with the two existing parks, it's a little bit further away. So we had 3-day Park Hoppers, but we had one day at Epic, which was just that park. And then the second 2 days we took for Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, and we could park hop that day. So it worked out. It worked out, pretty well. Now, William and Jillian, the boys, had not planned initially to join us, and so they decided to stay for the second week while we were there and enjoy the parks a little bit longer. But by that time, they were able to purchase single day tickets for just for Epic. So that that was an advantage for them. The 1-day ticket is on your right hand side, $139 for the adult ticket, and $134 for the child's ticket. And then the ticket that we purchased is on the left there. We had 2 days to move freely between Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. We did not include Volcano Bay in that, but we also, did the 1 day at Epic. So there were the ticket options that we went with, and it worked out. It worked out fine. Now, when you go in, I know we may have to back up just a little bit when William gets in here, because getting there, how do you get there? Obviously, most of us are going to use our GPS and what have you to get there. Wasn't very far. We stayed at Orange Lake Resort in Orlando, and it was about the drive with traffic was a little over half an hour. So, but I did want to, now I was not driving. A friend of mine was driving, and then William and Jillian and the boys drove in separately. But I want to caution you, the exits and the signage is not the best for finding the parking lot. So you really have to pay attention. Have somebody help you, to get in there. Ed, did y'all find the signage confusing at all? I just wonder if you guys, followed the signs okay to get in. Hang a second. We the second day that we went in, we watched a little bit more closely. But getting in was a little bit of a trick. So pay attention to to the signage now. As far as parking, let me back up just one, because there are a couple more things I wanted to say about parking. Universal Epic Studios offers various parking options. You've got your regular parking, prime parking, and valet parking. You have designated areas for RV and bus parking, and when you pull up to the parking attendant, will give you those options. Now, standard parking costs $32. 32. Disney is charging 30, so a couple extra dollars there for parking at Universal. Prime self parking ranges from $50 to $60. Now, it is covered parking. It has, and they have solar panels on the awnings, which I think is fantastic. Why did we not think of that sooner? And then annual pass holders may receive discounted or free parking. So, did y'all get discounted parking? Did y'all get discounted parking, Ed, or what did y'all opt for? We did the standard parking for 32, and William and Jillian opted for the covered parking. So, at any rate, those are your options. And the covered parking is nice, guys. It's up a little closer. You don't have to walk as far. And of course, it keeps your car cooler. And just for the record, the day that we were there, the week that we were there, the weather forecast was extremely hot. We knew that it was supposed to be unseasonably hot, hotter than it was supposed to be at this time of year. And the day that we went into Epic Universe, it was swelteringly hot. It was 92 degrees, but the heat index, it felt like 102, and it felt like every bit of that. So we had to be really careful about hydrating and what have you. But those are your parking options. Moving on, just so you know what your options there are. Entering the park is absolutely beautiful. We had, of course, ordered our tickets from Jillian, and so we went straight to guest services, and were able to get they still use paper tickets, guys. Be aware that they don't have paper maps anymore, and they don't have any kind of paper brochures or anything. You run across in your resorts and what have you, run across all of the paper information brochures for a lot of other attractions and parks in the area, including Walt Disney World. Universal no longer does any paper brochures or paper park maps. That's available on the Universal app, which you need to download before your trip and kind of familiarize yourself with it. It is not nearly as helpful, or as doesn't have as much on it as the Walt Disney World app, which is a blessing and a curse. But they still use paper tickets. I don't know why. I don't understand what the
hey
what the deal on that. But at any rate, did you welcome in, hon? I wondered if you had anything specific to say. Let me back up just a little bit. I've just covered ticketing and
I did. I was thinking I did forget something. BRB
and parking. Oh, okay. Okay. at any rate, guys, one thing I did, the first thing I want to say about this park is that it is absolutely gorgeous. They have really paid a lot of attention to detail. This is the entrance to the park. The entrance, they have the portals to the different lands. This is the entrance portal, and it is absolutely beautiful with the Chronicon signage up there, the Chronicon gate, and on each portal, each gate, there is a saying, or a quote or whatever that applies to that particular land. The Chronicon gate says, "Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams." So that's what it says there on this gate. It is absolutely beautiful. So just get ready for just a feast for your eyes, because it is really a pretty park. Constellation. This is this just a gorgeous area, guys. It's they are going for it's called Epic Universe, and they're going for sort of an otherworldly approach. And you can see from this architecture how beautiful it is. Now we went in, we rope dropped, if you will. We were there early. Crowds did not seem terribly heavy while we were there. We did go ahead and we started in Dark Universe. And so the Collie was with me. She got to go in, and we did start in Dark Universe. And we went straight to Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. And this is a dark ride, and it has gotten probably the most attention and accolades at this point. This ride is it utilizes a ride system similar to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. If you're familiar with that ride, very very similar. It is a guest encounter Dr. Victoria Frankenstein and her attempt to control the monsters. And you'll see Dracula, Brides of Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Wolfman, Mummy, and Phantom of the Opera, which I totally love because Phantom of the Opera is my favorite Broadway show. So I really love that they included him. Now, we rope dropped this. And guys, we waited for this ride about 15 minutes tops. So, this is, as you walk in, it's really well done. As you walk in, there are these two caskets. And of course, Kylie and I had to do the poses there, but look at Frankenstein's castle. Look at, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. It is just so well done. Now, I did not go back in at nighttime. I really, really wish that I had been able to go back in at night, because it is so creepy. It's just perfect. I mean, it's exactly what I would have pictured, for Dark Universe. But so this is the ride to the left here. You can see the dark arch there that is the entrance to the ride. And again, we rope dropped it. So, and William, you're back, I see.
Yes.
Still looking at going back through and
I'm typing in names
looking
right
at
now.
people in chat. Disney app. Blessing and a curse, right? Blessing when it works, a brick when it isn't. Exactly. Yeah. That's true. Now, Tina, you have a point there. Universal's app it doesn't have as much to it, but it's not as glitchy. That's very true. That's very true. William, did you started with just ticketing and parking? Did you have anything that you wanted to say about any points to make about either of those two things?
I will say, the coming into the park, their signage, they've got to do a better job with their signage. And then also too, again, like Mom said earlier, they've got the paper tickets. I feel like they need to really get those on the app. But anyway, I will say, coming back into the park, because I left to take Wyatt or Wesley and Jillian back to the resort midday. Because Wesley was tapped out, Jillian was tapped out. So anyway, I took both of them back, and then getting back into the park's very efficient. I mean, they've got their picture. I didn't even really have to fool with my ticket, honestly. They had my, they take your picture and they pretty much pair your picture with your ticket, and pretty much they pulled the camera up, got mine and Wyatt's picture, and boom, we were in. I didn't even really need to fumble around for my ticket. So that, from that perspective, is very helpful. You go through security.
Once you they take your picture.
Yeah.
And then that is I didn't have to pull my ticket out again either.
Yeah.
They do advise you to take a picture of your ticket.
Yeah.
In case you lose it. And I know of some friends who accidentally washed their tickets in their pockets because they wanted to keep them, at the ready while they were in the park in case they needed to show them. And so the pictures that they didn't have to end up, proving. I mean, obviously they had receipts and plenty of things to prove that they had tickets, but it's in our experience, yes, Tina. So the pictures would come in handy. So be sure to take a picture.
The other thing too is Mom and them had 3-day tickets, and we just had the 1-day Epic ticket. They had 2-day park to park, park to park for the other parks, and then 1 day of Epic. So I'm sure they probably needed their ticket, once again, to get back in. I would assume, and I don't know if the picture carries over. We're not well versed enough.
It did to the other parks. It did.
That's good.
Now I had my ticket, in my backpack. I had my ticket on me.
Yeah.
And Kylie did too, but we didn't have to. We never did have to use them again. So
I almost wonder if the paper ticket thing's to help sell some more lanyards and lanyard holders, ticket holders.
Well, that's a possibility.
They do have plenty of those. They got a good selection of those for each area of the park.
They do. In fact, I bought a Jaws 50th anniversary lanyard, so that you may have a point there.
Yeah. We got the. Let's see, mine's.
Yeah.
I'll show you real quick.
Yeah. As you can see from this picture, this is the kind of detail, guys, that they included. It's absolutely, it's just incredible what they've done here with, Universal has so stepped up their game, and really, they've been doing that for a while. Disney and Universal push each other to do, bigger and better things. And we're going to get into, some of the things that we had a problem with, but the theming and the look of this park is not one of them. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic. Some people have kind of complained a little bit about Celestial Park. And they said it kind of feels, granted, Celestial Park's a hub. That'd be like essentially that'd be, this is Universal's first spoken hub system, or format of layout of park. And so that would be like, saying, the castle's right there. It'd be like going to, Magic Kingdom and being like, oh, there's not enough to do in the hub. It's like, well, I
Right.
guess the hub's meant to transport you other places. And I will say the
Right.
Constellation Carousel is very pretty, especially at nighttime lit up. It looks really good. All the Celestial Park looks beautiful at night, and it looks beautiful during the day with all the greenery. A lot of people have compared it to, like, I want to say maybe Tokyo Disney Sea. I think has some green area. I can understand. To me, it's interesting that Universal has this Celestial Park that is very pretty, lots of water, lots of plants. It's interesting that that's like the first thing you come into and you see when you come into Epic Universe, and then Disney, on the other hand, is looking to take out some of the green water area there at Magic Kingdom. So I think it's an interesting contrast there.
Yeah, a lot of parks are wanting to add those features, and Disney's taking them out. So it doesn't make much sense to me. But yeah, it is just absolutely gorgeous. Now, William, you went back into Dark Universe at night.
I did. It looked incredible.
I did not.
Fantastic
really
vibe. Lots of fog, especially that center centerpiece well thing that's kind of there in the middle. I mean, they have it fogging during the day too, but it's at nighttime especially. It was pretty cool because they had some red lighting going also, so it kind of added
I would love to have seen that.
Yeah.
I really would love to have seen that. Now we did Monsters Unchained in this area. First, we went straight to that. We rope dropped it, and I really loved it. Now I thought they have listened. Universal has guests have complained about the other parks relying too much on the screens for rides. And I agree.
Fast and the Furious, Green Gots has screens. Spider-Man. Spider-Man, you'll never hear me say a bad word about the Spider-Man ride. It was an innovator in its time, and so many rides have leveraged that technology. So many dark rides over the years. I mean, you think Ratatouille also, but it's been essentially the same format of ride. But you'll never hear me say a bad word ever about that ride.
Because of the screen, Spider-Man is very vintage. It has that really authentic, put you in the cartoon or put you in the comic book feel to it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, we're not at all throwing shade.
But it is one of the rides that heavily uses screens. Transformers is another one. There's several rides that King Kong also. So many people. I never experienced Confrontation back in the day, but so many people have just gushed about how incredible Confrontation was back in the day. But so many of the rides do lean heavily on screens. And granted, it's meant to move you through a space. It's meant to give you the illusion that you're moving, you're transporting further than you actually are in reality.
Right.
And to help move you scene to scene and progress the storyline. But I will say, I thought that the way that they intertwined screens and with physical staging was done incredibly well. The mixture of animatronics with the screens and also physical props and everything was done incredibly well.
Arjohns, hey,
welcome in.
It was great to see you. Arjohns looked me up while I was streaming in the Ministry of Magic area.
Awesome.
When we were at Epic. They were there that day. It was so great to see you, Arjohns. I was just really surprised, and it was such a great surprise to see you there. So y'all look for Arjohns on that live stream. I appreciate you coming to find me. Yes. Yes. I'm glad you did too. I'm glad you did too. Such a nice surprise. Really, really cool. Um, at any rate, yeah, this I did now. Also, I will say that for Monsters Unchained, it still uses screens, but they have incorporated the use of screens and some really impressive
Yeah.
animatronics to really come. I would love to have written it again. I intended on going back in at night and running it again.
Yeah.
Um, but the animatronics in that are really amazing.
They are.
They're to me, it's it's there's a lot to that ride. It's a long ride, and I'm impressed. I'm just
They
impressed.
threw a lot at you. Um,
Mhm.
I almost felt like I wrote it right there. Last thing, the last 20 minutes or so of the park being open. Mom covered for me, hung out with Wyatt while I went and did single rider real quick. I wasn't even single rider. I just walked the queue. um,
Mm.
and oh,
No, we did
it's
single rider.
the
Yeah.
mansion's nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
incredible.
yeah.
Uh, it's just incredibly impressive. And I
Mhm.
wish, because I was moving through it so quickly, I missed a ton of details. I stopped to
Mhm.
take a picture here and there.
Mhm.
But I was moving through it, moving through the queue so quickly because it's close to park close that
Right.
I wasn't
Right.
able to really fully appreciate everything that was in there.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing it again at some point.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it was
Good.
incredible. That they've got
Good.
it flat, in black light on the wall that flashes. Who's the monster?
Mm.
Is Dr. Victoria Frankenstein the monster for
Oh.
keeping all of the keeping all the monsters chained?
Mhm.
For
Yeah.
having them do her will.
Right.
Or the monster's the monster. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of the question
Very
that's
cool.
posed. Granted, she bails your butt out, so I guess technically, to at least some extent,
Right.
um, she saves your bacon.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anyway, it's
Now,
it's very impressive. I do think there's a little variation of line of sight for which seat you're sitting in, because I sat more to the left side because
mhm.
they're I want to say it's the two middle seats that I think that are built a little bit bigger. I think they
Mhm.
told me, um, and so I went and got in, picked one of the bigger seats, and because I'm not able to fit on the Forbidden Journey ride. Unfortunately, I love that ride, but just the way that I'm built, where I carry a little extra weight is just not friendly with the ride system. But I was able to ride, Monsters Unchained just fine, fit on it just fine. Um,
Mhm.
but it's very impressive, and I scare pretty easily. I'm not big. I'm not big into horror movies. I just that stuff gets in my head, and I have me
Mhm.
paranoid, and I have a tough time with it. I always have. But it's a great ride. I did pretty well. It's funny. I rode with a mom and her son, and I was like, just a heads up, y'all. I scare pretty easily. So if I yell here or there, just ignore me. And they're like, oh no, they're like, oh yeah, no problem. It'll be fun. Um, but it's funny because they both yelled more than I did. Uh, so it's pretty funny. I will say there were a couple animatronics, and there's so much in your that you can see. And I think Jillian sat more over to the right side. Again, I
Mhm.
think I was one off the end
Mhm.
to sit in one of the bigger, more accommodating seats. Um, but anyway, she said, I think she rode all the way over on the right, and she said like there were several times where like she saw like a blank wall or like curtains or something. And I was
Mhm.
like, man, I don't know how you did that, because literally
Yeah.
everything I saw was, you know, was incorporated into the scene. I mean, it was really,
Yeah.
really. I mean, just there's so much to look at. You couldn't even follow it all.
Right.
There was one
Right.
animatronic I almost straight up missed because it's lower down, below your typical line of sight. But yeah, it's really cool.
There's a lot going on with it.
Yeah.
You can see from this picture, this is one of the pictures of the queue line. And I could see this one from this was taken from the single rider line. So you don't miss all of it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Miss Najuma, welcome in.
Welcome
in. But you can see how amazingly realistic this is. This is by no means cheesy, guys.
No.
This is very realistic looking, and so
the
on this one.
You're talking about Universal rides that hold up. The Mummy ride holds up. The Brendan Fraser Mummy ride holds up, and the queue for the Mummy ride's fantastic.
It is.
So this is top notch. They really, this was really a labor of love. They put a lot of effort into this.
You can tell. You sure can. Now I will have to say, just moving along, we're going to move to Super Mario Brothers here pretty quick. Let me back up just a second for this last, because we're going to have to move along because it's already almost 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
In this same area, the Curse of the Wolfman is there as well. That was the second ride, or Curse of the Werewolf, excuse me, is the second ride there. And this is a single track ride instead of the dual, loading track, dual coasters. For some reason, I don't know why, they built this one as a single track ride. Very slow line. There was, and in their defense, somebody's, it was slowed down because somebody's fanny pack had fallen onto the track, and they had to wait for maintenance or somebody to come get the fanny pack off the track. But this is a very, very slow line, and it's a very short ride, and it was not worth an hour wait at all. It just wasn't. So
one more thing to note about monsters: you got to take everything off of you. And the other thing too is it's I don't know if you covered this already, but it's similar to the Tron style lockers. You put your stuff in a locker and then you unlock it on the other side. But the way it works, and sometimes there's a little bit of a line, you've got it has to take your picture, and then it pops open a locker for you. You don't pick a locker. It pops one open for you. And then when you get out, again, you got to line up. It takes your picture and it pops open the door automatically for you. So that is one thing.
No magic band.
Yeah.
There's no magic band involved for, They haven't
incorporated one last thing to note there. I didn't do Curse the Werewolf. It looked really cool. I will say, if you're standing over in that area, the music does get incredibly repetitive as you hear the ride going and going and going.
Yeah.
Me and the boys hanging out in that area did see Igor. Igor. He's a viral character. Assistant to Dr. Victoria Frankenstein. He's got a medical bag with a bunch of random body parts and one of those big oversized things that the doctor uses to hit your knee to test your reflexes. So it's pretty funny watching him interact with people. He did not interact with us, maybe because he didn't want to potentially intimidate the boys, but
probably so.
But anyway, we watched him interact with other people. And it was fun to watch. There have been a lot of reels going around of people interacting with Igor and asking him different questions and his crazy responses.
Good stuff.
But if you stand in that area waiting on somebody to come off of that ride, the music does get a little repetitive.
Good character interactions there. But again, I would not. There is no way I would wait an hour for Curse of the Werewolf. It's very short. I don't know if I 30 minutes tops, and I don't even know if I would would wait that long for it.
Yeah.
It's a good ride, don't get me wrong, but it's very short, and it's definitely not worth an hour wait, or wasn't for me. So
Yeah.
Just my thoughts on that particular one. Now the next area that we went to was Super Mario Brothers. So let's get into this one a little bit. Oh, I did want to say one other thing. There are some good-looking restaurants in Dark Universe. Doss Steakhouse is one that I would like to try. I've
Burning
had friends
Blade
who have
Tavern.
tried it and said it was, but the Burning Blade Tavern, guys, and I didn't get a picture of it. The Burning Blade Tavern actually has a windmill from Universal's Frankenstein in the 1931, old mill, Dartmoor Village monster, windmill, and it's on fire. The blade is actually burning. It looks so cool. I'd love to. So I didn't get to do that, but I would love to have. Oh, there's my first yawn. Sorry, y'all. But I would love to have, tried that out just as a last. So we moved on to, now the next one that we went to, William, was Super Mario Brothers.
And that's where we started our day.
Okay.
So me and my bunch got into the park closer to 11. And, like I said, coming in the direction we came in, the signage for how to get to Epic was not very helpful. Now, granted, when I came back, it took me a different way in, and there was signage that was helpful to tell you how to get to Epic to park. But still, when you get into the park, it would be incredibly helpful if they had some more signage to tell you, oh, go this direction for the park entrance, go to the ticket, go through security, and also BTW. By the way, at security, you need to take all the junk out of your pockets. You can't have anything on you. Take everything off, throw it in a basket. There's no signage indicating to do any of that, and we told them, we said, hey, so we had parked, we did the preferred parking and ended up in the Dragon area. It was pricey for her parking, but in order to cut down on steps and, given the fact that I had to take Wesley and Jillian back midday, it paid off, especially at the end of the day, walking back to the vehicles, or walking back to our vehicle. But they just need more signage to tell people, like, if you bought a ticket online, go this way. And then at security, and then you got to hit security first. At security, they need signs saying, "Please empty all pockets." Don't have anything on you going through. They need to have some signage up to really help you. Because again, we went to Universal last year. It's last year. We went to the other two parks last year. And I can remember, you got to take your backpack off. It's like airport security, TSA basically. But I didn't remember having to take all the junk off of me. So need better signage for where to go to handle your tickets. The other thing too is, so we started off in a guest services will call window line, and the team member, they only had one out there, and she was busy in conversation with somebody. And so us and a lot of other people are going to stand in this will call section over to the right. And finally, the team member wraps up the conversation with that other person after we've been sitting, staying in line for 5 minutes. She said, "Oh, if you already purchased a ticket online, you need to go to the ticket hall, go through security and go through the ticket hall." It's like, well, that'd have been fantastic to know before we wasted time standing in this other line. So us and a bunch of other people got out of that line and went through the security line. And that was the other thing too. It was at security, we said, hey, we're not ragging on you guys, but tell your supervisors you need better signage through here so folks know what's expected of them. That way it doesn't jam up. Somebody goes through, I still have my phone or my wallet in my pocket, set the thing off. Then they got to back to go stop everything, let them throw their junk in a bucket, send it through to get x-rayed. They go back through the thing. That's wasted time for everybody. So better signage
would definitely help.
Yes,
but I will say
100%.
It is faster The metal detectors that
no
Universal
question.
uses are 10 times faster than the physical search that security officers have to perform at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So
no
they
question.
do have that going in their favor.
They do.
But they could move even faster if they improved. I agree. If they improve the signage.
So just better signage would help people out a lot. So they, people know what to do. You don't have the wasted time of, I left something in my, I left all my junk in my pockets like I did.
Right. Right. Now, what were your, so I'll have to say, now I have seen a lot of mixed reviews on Super Nintendo World. When I first walked into this area, I was just blown away.
Yeah.
You do, not to give away too many spoilers, but you do go through the pipe to get in, even regular guests, and even if you are in a scooter or stroller or whatever, you still get to go through the pipe. It's the look of this, guys, is really amazing. It's as if you stepped into the video game.
Oh, it's incredible.
What were your thoughts on this one, William?
I'd seen videos of people that had done this in Japan, people that done this in Hollywood. It's spectacular. I mean, as somebody whose earliest video game memories are centered largely around Mario.
Yeah.
Playing the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. Playing Duck Hunt, Super Mario Brothers 3, some of the other Mario games as well.
Fantastic.
And I just, Jillian said, she said, I wish you could have seen how your face lit up seeing it for the first time. I got, when the Super Mario Brothers movie came out, right off the bat, they played the old music, from the game, and it just kind of tugged at my heartstrings because I could remember playing with Steven when I was younger, and then I got older, and then we had my younger brother Adam, and I can remember playing the Mario games with him, and it just it really tugged at my heartstrings, and just seeing it and being transported to the Mushroom Kingdom was just spectacular. Just like Jillian said, she said, I wish you could have seen how your face lit up the first time you came through the pipe and looked around and got to see it for yourself in person. It's incredible. It really is.
Yeah.
For me, the only thing there's two main things for me about this land, and I wish I'd have had more time to explore. We walked through some of the gift shops and everything. Wish I'd have had a little bit more time to explore. But it's perfect. The power up bands. So we ended up with 3 power up bands. So here's Jillian. She got Princess Peach, of course. So here's the Princess Peach power up band. There's a little memory, or what is it? I think Disney calls this like the memory maker or something, or what? I can't remember. It's a memory preserver or something. I don't know what it's called, but basically a little band. We bought ours separately on Amazon.
Falling off.
Yeah, to keep them from falling off. The power up bands that comes with it. So these function as an amiibo for your Nintendo Switch also, which is pretty cool. So for your games, there's
nice.
They sell little statues. They're called amiibos. But anyway, Princess Peach there in the back. But yeah, it's super cool. So that's Jillian's with the little tiara on it, and looks like her dress. Very, very cute. So my wrist, I don't have huge wrists. I mean, my wrists but they're still decently sized. And I will say it was a little bit difficult, wearing mine, because it would, unless I had the little extra band holder, unless I had that thing in place, it kind of do this number on me over the course of the day, where it kind of roll up, because it's a slap band style bracelet. And here's Mario. Me and Wesley shared this one. we thought we lost it right off the bat because I gave it to Wesley and put it on his wrist. And obviously he's just 2. He has a little wrist. And so we thought we lost it right off the bat. Turns out he had tossed it over the little wall there at Toadstool Cafe. And then Wyatt wanted Donkey Kong. So here's Donkey Kong's power-up band.
I like it. I love it.
That's pretty cool. Wyatt, of course, lost his little slider thing that holds your band on your in place. So that was a bummer. But they come with these really cool maps. So here's the little map that comes with it. Tells you all about the band. So you get the Universal Orlando Resort app. The power-up band allows you to play in the Mushroom Kingdom. Punch blocks, which was, I mean, it's just like in the game. I mean, you just punch. Memory keeper. There you go. There you go, Tina. Thank you for helping me. Punch blocks, which again, I mean, that's what you do in the game. The other thing too is, you wear your wrist, you wear it on your. I saw a lot of people doing like tapping the blocks like this because they assume that there had to be flush hitting the blocks like this. No, you can punch the blocks with your fist and it still picks it up right there. Nice. I assume it's some sort of near field NFC, near field communication technology, I would assume. But you get to punch blocks, collect coins. They could go and touch, which actually with the coins that you see the Mario symbol or even the Donkey Kong symbol, I was touching the face of the band to the stuff, and I don't think I actually had to. I think I could have just touched the coin and it worked. Explore, discover, and play. So you scan the QR on the back of your band, and it pairs it up to the app. Super cool. But here's the map. It's pretty neat. Here's a map of both the Mushroom Kingdom and Donkey Kong Land, which I think I botched that. Can't remember what the name of his land is, but collect the keys to take back the golden mushroom. Bowser. Oh, whoops! Here we go. Start. The golden mushroom was stolen by Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. has it locked away. His minions guard the keys. Collect the keys to take back the Mushroom Kingdom, the golden mushroom, to save the Mushroom Kingdom. So there are a few different ways you can earn keys. So there were a couple of POW blocks. So the POW blocks like explode. I mean, hence, POW. You jump up, you hit the box, and it sets off an explosion. So there was a turtle shell that was moving through the pipe. So the pipe was, horizontal, and then had one upward outlet. So horizontal pipe. So the green turtle shell would move back and forth through the pipe, and you had to time it just right to where it would explode and shoot the turtle shell up the pipe to hit the question mark block. So that's how I got one of my keys. That was my first key. And then there was another one where you had to spin this big wheel. It's, envision like a big fishing rod type wheel situation. You had to spin it really fast. And I had my backpack on and I was not well prepared for how much effort I had to put in to spin this wheel. So you had to spin the wheel. You had to spin it really fast. And then this little Goomba, a little funny looking guy. Is there a Goomba on here? Little funny looking Goomba little guy. Yeah, here he is. There's a Goomba. This little brown guy right here. The little Goomba he came, trotting up. It was really funny and really cute. I'm fighting for my life, spinning this wheel to get him to walk up the thing to where I won the game. So that's how I got my second key, and I got my third key there's a piranha plant, and there's a timer. So there's the piranha plant right here. So I started off over here with the pipe, plant. and then I did the other game with the Goomba here, and then the piranha plant. What you had to do is there's a bunch of clocks, and the clocks they have the white face on them, normal, and then as the timers, the alarm clock is going off, it flashes red. So what you have to do is you have to smack the top of each of the alarm clocks to turn it off to put the piranha plant back to sleep. And so we tried it once and we didn't get it. we paired up with another 2 other people. There's a max of 6 players that can do that game. But so it was me and Wyatt and 2 other people, and we tried it. As a kid and his mom, we tried it. We didn't get it. And we tried it again with a family of 4, so where there were 6 of us, so we had our alarm clocks well covered. So we knocked it out that time. It was so funny though, because this family of 4, they were like, "Yeah, it took us 3 tries to get this."
Oh.
So there's a decent level of difficulty. I'll have to try the other games to see if I can get the coins or the keys rather. You have to collect 3 keys, and from what I've heard, technically, if you wanted to, I think you could play the same game 3 times and get the key, like 3 keys that way, just beat the same game. From what I've heard, they may end up patching that at some point. But anyway, it was a whole lot of fun to collect the keys. And so, again, this is, it's a pay to play type thing. But we had a lot of fun doing this. And Wyatt had a lot of fun punching the blocks. He collected, I think, 2 keys maybe. And the other thing too is your progress is tracked in the app. I actually took screenshots. I need to send them to Mom. But I took screenshots, of our progress, how many coins we'd collected. There are stamps and trophies that you can collect in the world, just walking around, touching the Mario symbols or hitting the blocks. Same thing in the Donkey Kong area too. There's DK symbols, and you look for those. And we collected all the letters. I think there's Kong. I think spells Kong. And you go and touch each one of those. One of the coolest things we did with the band though was there was a rhino in a box, and the rhino, there were 3 big drums, like timpani-sized drums, and actually I say 3. I guess it was technically 6 because everybody like there were 3 people at a time trying to get the rhythm down. So you had to listen to the beat of the music that's playing. So you had to listen to the beat of the music and play the drums to get the rhino to come out.
Oh,
so like I think mine was right, left, right, left, left, right, 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 left, left, right, right, or something like that. It may have been, and then I think Wyatt's was left, right, right, or left, left, right, left, left, right, or some iteration of that, the rhythm. And anyway, you had to get it right. And then all of a sudden, the rhino would come crashing out of the box, which is really interactive and a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Wyatt really enjoyed this area.
Yeah, we had a good time. I think granted, I've not tried to use them as an amiibo yet, but I think the price point is a little high for what you can do with the magic or with the power up band.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have a lot of fun with them. We put them to good use.
Well, hopefully it's a situation where they'll add more. They'll add more things that you can do with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that area, I thought it was great. I listened to y'all, play so much when y'all were younger, and I thought it was just amazing. I thought they had done a really good job with it. So, and there were, now I will have to say, Universal is obsessed with stairs.
Oh, they are, especially in this, in Epic Universe, especially, there are a lot of stairs.
Yes. There are a lot of levels, and Nintendo, in this Nintendo land, they have, for every staircase, they do have elevators.
Yeah.
So you can look for the elevators. They obviously they have to be handicap compliant and what have you. Take those into consideration, and they do that. But there are a lot of stairs, and oh my gosh, even in queue lines. And I don't know. People are. It was blazing hot that day. We were tired. We were already on. That was our fourth park in as many days. And you're asking people to balance on stairs while they're in a queue line. It's not the best. I don't think it's the best idea. But anyway, just be aware that there are a lot of stairs, and so you'll have to, if you can't do stairs, you'll have to seek out the elevators, and they do have the elevators.
So we, y'all didn't ride the Yoshi, did you?
No, we didn't.
Yeah. So Toadstool Cafe, I don't know if you have any pictures of Toadstool Cafe in the.
Oh, I have all of them.
Okay. Oh, you do. Okay. So real quick, some other merch to show you. I showed you the power-up bands already. This is for a friend. Super Nintendo World, Mario. So this is a pretty neat little pin. He actually goes back down, and there's a little lever you can use to have him come back up the pipe there.
Oh, how fun!
So I thought that was pretty neat. I didn't even know it did this actually. Cool. Get him to come back up. So, pretty neat. So
that is a cute pin.
That's for a friend, and then I got this limited edition grand opening Super Nintendo World pin.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
If I get it to focus.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then we got this magnet set. The Chef Toad there, Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, the Superstar.
Nice.
Let's see. We got Chef Toad or plush. So Wesley picked out Chef Toad. So Wesley just walked through this store and kept grabbing random stuff. I don't have Diddy Kong with me. We got a little Diddy Kong plush. And then Wesley, really funny story about this one. He picked out this little yellow Yoshi. He picked it out, and I told him, I was like, oh no, like put that back, Wesley. You don't need that. And then he doubled down. I was like, okay, well, let's get the green Yoshi. I tried to swap him out, then give him the green Yoshi. He wanted this yellow Yoshi. He was dead set on this yellow Yoshi. So we ended up with the little yellow Yoshi keychain. Very cute.
It is cute.
Oh yeah, and then Mom got us this.
Well, good for you.
Got this for the boys. This is the Mario popcorn bucket, Mario Kart popcorn bucket.
I love that.
It's the coolest. I mean, the lanyard on this thing with all the different symbols is just super cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's incredible. This is one of the best lanyards I've ever seen with a popcorn bucket ever. There's so many symbols from Mario Kart. It's so stinking cool.
Very heavy too.
It is big time. I will say one thing that I've picked up on though is that these wheels are a little. You gotta be careful. Don't hold it by the wheels. You gotta be careful. I can feel a little bit of movement on these front wheels, so be very careful with it. The back is actually where if you were to put popcorn in it, and to actually use it as a popcorn bucket, this comes out. This comes out.
Oh, fun. It comes out. That's neat. Yeah.
So, it's super cool.
So
big fan. Cute. I need to replace the battery in it because there are lights here on the tires. So I need to replace the battery. But it's super cool. Thanks again to Mom for that. And then
somebody had to have that. It was just too cute.
Right. And then we got the Universal Trophy. As many Mario Kart races as I've played, and as much time as I've spent, playing Mario, I said, well, Wyatt actually picked it out, and I said, you know what, we'll go ahead and get it. I will have to say, it feels like it could be a little bit sturdier, frankly. in terms of, quality. But it's really neat. It says Mario Kart down there at the bottom. It has the Universal globe and logo for the Universal trophy for the ride. What all did y'all do in this area, Mom? I talked about, some of the other things we'd done.
Well, yeah, we rode, we rode Bowser's Challenge. We rode that one. That was a lot of fun. And we also, now y'all rode Yoshi's Adventure.
We did.
Am I right?
Yeah.
And then the other one that we rode was Donkey Kong Minecart Madness.
So y'all did that ride then?
We did.
Okay, good. Hey, we wanted to make it to that one, but we never did.
Oh yeah, we did that. And it was very impressive. It was amazingly impressive. You definitely should have done that one.
Yeah.
You definitely should have done that one. The Donkey Kong Minecart coaster was a long line. Gosh, we waited probably an hour and 15 minutes for that one. It was a long ride. It kept going down. We had a problem with that.
Is that ride fairly comparable? Short. Okay, I was going to say, is that ride fairly comparable to like a Seven Doors Mine Train, like a starter coaster?
Yes. Okay. Yes, it is. It is. And it was not worth that wait.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it, but part of the thing that made and there were breakdowns, guys. There were they have some work to do on this park. I'm just going to say they have some work to do on it. The breakdowns were very frustrating, and part of what made that even worse was that it was so blooming hot. It was hot that day. So, but we did get in, several rides. The only one I guess we didn't ride was Yoshi's Adventure. So the little Omnimover.
Yeah. So we didn't get to do the Donkey Kong ride. We'll have to hit that next time. But it just seems like they're not able to move good capacity through that ride. Minecart Madness. I've heard it's a lot of fun. The theming's fantastic, but the amount of people that they can pump through that line is just not what it should be. Has been the general feedback that I've heard on it. I took this cool picture here in the Toadstool Cafe. So Toadstool Cafe, you stand in a line, and then I will say they work very hard to get you seated quickly, and then you take a picture of the QR code in the middle of the table. You place your order, and they bring it to you. So this is the garlic knots here. We there's a channel called the Pug 2 that we follow. So his name's Tyler Pug. I think Jillian has said he called these the best garlic knots he'd ever had in a theme park. Ours did not come out very warm. So they had good flavor, but they wasn't anything to write home about. Mm-hmm. But I thought they were decent.
They look good.
Yeah, and they were
now
fun.
The food here, as you guys are going to see, the food here is very well themed,
highly Instagrammable.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the piranha plant caprese salad, which is just so funny.
This is great.
Yeah. Jillian didn't want anything heavy, and so she ended up getting this. And she said it was good, but at the end of the day, it was just it was, it was what it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I like the mozzarella and tomato.
It's so funny.
I probably would really have enjoyed that. What was that dip like? Did Jillian say?
I didn't try the dip.
Or the dressing. I guess it's a dressing. If it was like a garlic dressing or sweet dressing or what. So.
And then this is the Luigi burger, which was a grilled chicken sandwich. I will say my chicken was a little dry. It's so funny. You got the little statue burnt into the bun there, and then the Luigi hat. I did love the accessories that came with this meal. So the little Luigi hat on a long toothpick. And then you'll see all the fun stuff that came with the kids meal. But my chicken was a little bit dry, but the sauce that came with the chicken's really what pushed it over the top. Now there's probably like some sort of like garlic aioli mayo or something like that. I'd have to look at the description on the site, but really what bailed them out with this sandwich, the fries were good. They were, fries are fries, but they had good flavor. But really what bailed them out with this sandwich from it being, just really dry was that sauce. The sauce was very good, and they were generous in the amount they gave you. So I was pleased with it. I would get this again. Like I said, chicken was a little dry, but that's my only complaint about this. Other than that, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
This kids meal is probably the best kids meal I've seen, at any park, frankly. It comes with a little burger, a little cheeseburger. It comes with fries. It comes with a little baby corn on the cob. It comes with broccoli, and it comes with a coin. It's like a white chocolate coin with a little cookie wafer in the middle, which I don't know if you got a picture of the bite out of the cookie there. But it was
it's a little Mario. There is the garnish, the little toothpick.
Oh, it's so cool. So it comes with a little Mario flagpole that that's how you end the level. In Mario's 1 through 3, you jump on the flagpole and slide down, and it ends the level. So it shows Mario jumping off the burger there. It was fun because Wesley played with the Mario while he stood in line for stuff. So he played with the little Mario toothpick, and he and Wyatt were entertained by the toothpicks.
Yeah.
The Luigi hat toothpick, the flag toothpick here.
It's the cookies in the box.
Yeah, so it's one cookie, and it's like I said, it's I think it's like a white chocolate. But this is easily one of the best kids meals I've ever seen at a theme park ever. In terms of what you get, the presentation.
And look at the plate.
Yeah, on the plate. I wish I could have taken a plate with me.
Right.
But it was so cool.
Maybe they have those for purchase in the gift shop or something.
I would hope.
If not, they should, right?
Yeah. If not, I need to take one with me next time, maybe. But anyway, it's so neat. And then Wyatt. So Wyatt ordered the I guess spaghetti with red marinara sauce or whatever. His came with the garlic nut, came with the cookie in the coin box, the question mark box, and then those are pieces of mozzarella or of a Parmesan. So
my goodness!
So the 3 medallions there in the front are Parmesan, and you've got the fire flower, you've got the superstar, and the super mushroom.
How cute!
Jillian said Wyatt's came out pretty cold. It wasn't really anything to write about. It was spaghetti and some red sauce, and with Parmesan on the top. Wasn't really anything to write home about. Again, our feedback on this dining experience is the atmosphere top notch. I mean, the dining room's massive. The music. The Mushroom Kingdom gets invaded by Bowser, and you see Bowser's ship fly through on some of the screens, and the music changes. It's a phenomenal dining experience. The food quality could be a bit higher, especially for the price point. So price point, everybody sit down. I don't have smelling salts available for folks, but price point. This is about $100 to feed a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 children. This is ballpark $100. That's a high price tag.
It is.
But I say that one caveat is that we bought 2 refillable mugs, and so that bumped the price up substantially.
Okay. Okay.
So that's really what contributed to a decent part of this bill was we got two refillable mugs. So that, the factor that in. But anyway, the like I said,
Cafe. So would you recommend it?
I would recommend it. I'd still recommend it. I really liked mine. I think Jillian and the boys might do something a little bit different, or maybe why I would go with the little Mario pack meal that we got for Wesley instead potentially. But I would still do it again. But I think that the rest of my party might try something different. Meal selection wise.
Right. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's definitely, everything is definitely, on point as far as the look. So, if they just, improve the food quality a little bit, maybe. But yeah, I mean, they've gone over the top, with presentation, for sure.
The presentation and theming is second to none. Food quality just needs to be stepped up just a little bit.
Gotcha.
Oh, also too, we did Yoshi's Adventure. It's very people mover-esque. Moves very slow, takes you through. That ride should really be about twice as long as it is. It feels way too short. That was our main feedback. Is it's incredibly cute. It's great for Wesley. He loved looking around at all the stuff on that ride. But it does need to be about twice as long as it is.
Gotcha. Well, now that's something, William, that I would say about a lot of the rides here.
Yeah.
Is that they're just too short. They're just too short, and that Universal. This is by no means Universal's first rodeo, and so the ride, the length of the ride, plus there are several rides that need the smaller coaster like rides, like beginner coasters, need to be dual track. They in order to move people through there. So there are some surprising design flaws, mistakes that they made, I think, with some of it, and they're not necessarily fixable because the ride is what it is. So, but at any rate, we really enjoyed the area. Again, it was just so hot. That was really one thing that was really contributing a lot, to some of our some of our frustration. Celestial Park,
real quick,
guys. Did you write? Oh, go ahead.
Tina said the mugs $20 a piece. They are per Walt Disney World News Today's website. I can't remember what I paid, but per Walt Disney World Today's website, Walt Disney World News Today's website, the Epic Universe Grand Opening souvenir mug, which is the one we got, were $18.99 a pop. So you figure by the time you bake in tax, it's right at that $20 that you had mentioned there, Tina. And I would show you the mugs, but they're in the sink to be hand washed. So
I think you have mine too.
Oh yeah, I've got 3 of them because you flew back. So I have a few different things of yours. But it says per Walt Disney World News Today, the cup's $18.99 when you purchase one. If you purchase 2, they're $16.99 each. Purchasing 3 to 6 is $14.99 each. The cup is valid for 1 day of refills, but extra days are available for $11.99 per cup. There is an AP discount available. I don't know if I got the discount for purchasing 2 or not. I don't know if that was automatically applied. I can't remember. I will say the other thing too is with this Mario popcorn bucket, they've got some really, really cute popcorn buckets at this park. But each one of those popcorn buckets, when you buy them, comes with a complimentary, serving of popcorn. I don't know what the refill situation is, but I did want to mention that as you get, because Mom, did you get your complimentary popcorn with this popcorn bucket you got for
Hey,
us?
Dave. I did, but I actually bought this at the big store on City
Okay.
Walk the day after we were at
Epic.
Epic.
Yeah.
And I found it there. And the popcorn stand was like around the corner, and we were headed out of the park. So I didn't
I got
actually
you.
get it, but he told me that I could have.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Dave,
we've got the little piece of paper for redeemable for the popcorn. So
gotcha.
who knows?
Gotcha.
We may try at some point to see if they'll honor it.
It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting.
So I'll try to keep
Dave,
track of that.
a little bit less than that. Dave, we talked about ticketing at the beginning of the live stream, so you may want to back up a little bit and see. Not 200. That's a little bit high. Oh, hey, thanks, Jonathan, for hopping in. Hope you enjoyed your film. One of our ghost hosts there, and but yeah, I mean, it's expensive, Dave. It's expensive, but not quite that much. And the refillable mugs, I bought one for Callie and me to share, and then I went ahead and purchased 2 extra days because we had 3-day tickets, and I'm sure and we save money doing it that way. But that worked out very well. I did see at the other parks. The next couple of days, they had those same refillable mugs, but they were Jaws 50th anniversary mugs. And I would love to have had one of those because I'm such a Jaws fan. 50th anniversary this year for the movie Jaws, but I would love to have had. I really wanted the Epic Universe, obviously. Inaugural mug, but I would love to have had one of those Jaws 50th because they were really sharp. Yeah. Celestial Park, guys, this is Stardust Racers. Now we have a really cool short that I put up. It's well over 1,000 views now. If you want to see that, this is a dual track situation. And I will have to say, let me start with boarding. Again, it's a situation where you have to put all of your items in a locker. And when they say all of your items, there is no signage. So the cast members are like repeating the same thing. Everything has to go into the locker. And they say, keys, hats, cell phones, everything has to go in a locker. They mean it, because then after you put everything in a locker, then you walk upstairs, and if you have anything still on your person, they will send you back down. You have to go through a metal detector to get on this ride. So be aware of that. That said, this coaster is next level. I will have to say that. My husband and I absolutely love roller coasters. We love roller coasters. This coaster is utterly and completely amazing. I need to check and see. Let's see. Let me see if my notes say how fast this thing goes. The height requirement on Stardust Racers is 48 inches. It's similar to a Velocicoaster. It's a dual, multi-launch. It is similar to a Velocicoaster.
It speeds up to 62 miles an hour, and then heights of up to 133 feet.
It is. The thing about this one is you think that you're at top speed, which is pretty fast, and then it speeds up. And the turns, the twists, the height on, it's so much fun. And again, this is not for the faint of heart. Okay. You don't want to ride this if it's your first time riding a roller coaster. Because believe me, this one is for seasoned roller coaster riders. It's amazing. I absolutely loved it. So check out our live stream if one of our ghost hosts wants to go grab that the link to that short. I said live stream to the short that I put up. It kind of gives you an idea the look of it, but it's awesome, y'all. It's really, really good. I can't wait to do it again. Now, as for what we did in this area, guys, we were going to go to Toadstool Cafe. We were, but I had talked to you, William, on the phone, and you said that there's a pretty long line, Mom, for this, and we had passed just outside the portal for Super Mario Land is a restaurant called Pizza Moon. I had, from some friends who had been there already, we had gotten a good recommendation for Pizza Moon, and they said that the pizza was pretty good. So we decided to go out of the land and go to Pizza Moon. Now, they had outdoor seating and indoor seating. Again, the restaurant is fairly large. And what we did was the line was huge. And so a friend of ours, asked, can we just eat outside? And she said, well, yes. So the outside, it was pretty hot, but they were shaded. You scan the QR code in the middle of the table for menus and mobile ordering. Now, these pizzas are I thought they were like personal pan pizzas. They're not. They're the size of a medium pizza, like that you would buy at Pizza Hut or wherever, Domino's or wherever. They're the size of a medium pizza. One friend got this, a sausage and pepperoni. Anytime your pepperoni curls up and makes little bowls of grease, it's got to be good, right? That's just the sign of a good pepperoni pizza. The other one had white sauce with mushrooms. And so I ordered the mushroom. Another friend ordered mushroom. Another friend ordered this pepperoni. And I thought, there's no way we're going to eat all this pizza. Y'all, there was not a scrap left. It was not just it was really good for theme park pizza, but this was just good pizza.
Yeah. So
I can highly recommend Pizza Moon. It was very filling. We were starving to death, by the time we ate, because we had just gotten off, some of the rides there in Super Mario Land. It was very good. So highly recommend Pizza Moon. And there's another y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. But this really, really good. So we can so there's review for two different restaurants there, because we ate it too. So that's kind of nice. Oh, yuck, I lost you at the mushrooms. They had other flavors too.
Me too.
Tina. William's not a mushroom fan, but I like mushrooms, so it was delicious. The pepperoni and sausage, there were big hunks of sausage, as you could see in the picture. Excellent. This next section, William, Isle of Berk. I never actually made it over to Isle of Berk, because by the time I got to Ministry of Magic and started live streaming and then got into the line for the ministry ride, I never made it to this section. So can you tell us about Isle of Berk?
Yeah, hold on a second. So here's the fun. So that's the so this is the big rock that you see as you enter the land, and it's got a monologue from the second How to Train Your Dragon movie. So it's really neat. I can't read it because the screen's so small, but it's really, really neat. Great, little way to set the tone before you enter the land. Let's see if I can figure out how to work this thing. So this is Hiccup's Inferno Blade, which is pretty cool. Wyatt looked at various options. Let me see if I can figure this out. Hold on. There we go.
Oh, cool.
So pretty cool. You can see that. I mean, it looks like fire because the way that it shoots the light up the blade. You can take it, push it down. So you can.
Very nice.
But yeah, you throw it out there, and you can either throw it out once or all the way out. But nice. Pretty neat little toy. It kind of vibrates a little bit, which is also neat. But this is pretty cool. Wyatt bought a lightsaber on this trip. He built one inside of Star Tours. We spent a little while looking at, obviously I think you can hear it making noise there, but the detail on the handle is pretty cool. But this is a really
I really
neat.
like this.
Yeah,
I really like this toy. I thought it was.
It's a very neat
well
souvenir,
made, and it looks really cool.
I think it's hilarious that Berk is essentially open carry. they sell, I think, Fish Leg's sword. They sell Astrid's axe. They sell various shields, and then obviously Hiccup's Inferno blade. But it's very entertaining to me to see a bunch of kids walking around holding axes and Inferno blade swords and all sorts of stuff. So I was pretty entertained by this land. I'm much more well versed in Harry Potter and Mario than I am How to Train Your Dragon. But this land is just phenomenally well done. There's plenty of dragon animatronics. They got characters out you can meet. I think his name's Gobber the Belch. He's kind of like a workshop guy. That's really neat. He's got like a hammer hook hand, but he can swap out for different attachments. There's like a brush, and so anyway, they have a bunch of animatronic dragons. I mean, it's incredibly well done. It's very, very impressive. I will say, and this is one of my big points of feedback.
Ed and Heather said the same thing of Texas Steaks. They said the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So one thing that I will say, and so the other thing that made me laugh too is I actually had that thought about the Isle of Berk, and then in the Ministry of Magic also with everybody with their wands out. I was like, man, we're open carry and the streets in 1920s Paris.
Right.
But anyway, one thing, and this is really a point of feedback for the entire park, is rain cripples this park. So many rides go down when it rains. You've got the wing. I have to look up all the ride names. I think it's the Wing Dragon Racers. Universal. Let's see, Epic. Universal.
I've got it in the notes, William.
Ride list. Oh, you have a list of all the ride names. Sweet, that'd be a fantastic quick reference. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so many of them are.
Here we go. Stardust Racer. So Dragon Racers Rally goes down. I assume Fire Drill goes down. It's a boat ride, interactive outdoor boat ride. Hiccup's Wing Gliders. It started raining, and what really stunk. So me or Wyatt and I left the park. We took Jillian and Wesley back to the room. They were exhausted. We took them back to the room. Wyatt and I came back. Wyatt said, let's go to How to Train Your Dragon. Let's go to Isle of Berk first. Sure, let's do it. So we go into the land, and we're looking at wait times, and I'm just like, my gosh, like wait times are just high, like over 45 minutes for pretty much everything in the land. Is 45 minutes and up. And I was like, the Fire Drill ride's a little kiddie ride where you shoot water. Like, I was like, why in the world is that ride 40 or 45-minute wait?
Right.
So what happened was the wait times were super high. Wyatt wanted to go through the gift shops, and we looked at different gift shops and everything, and just kind of walked around and admired the land. looked at that Dragon animatronics. Like I said, the theming, anybody that's an avid How to Train Your Dragon fan is just going to be blown away by this land. It's so well done. Now the bad thing, when it rains, everything in this land goes down except for the show. And let me get to that next.
And it rains a lot in Florida.
Yeah, it rains a lot in Florida. I guess maybe there was thunder in the air or lightning in the area too. So maybe they would operate if it was just rain. I don't know for sure, but anyway, maybe I'm assuming there was threat of lightning, and that there's so many outdoor rides, and they just go down.
Go ahead and tell us about the show that's there.
Yeah. So the show's the Untrainable Dragon. So we knew the rain was coming, and I was like, okay, let's get inside. So went and stood in line for the show. We get inside. We probably, I'm assuming, I think they said it's about a 20-minute show. I think we made it about 10 minutes deep into the show. And so I don't want to give away. I don't want to give it away too much, but there's a picture on the screen of Hiccup riding on Toothless. I don't want to give away too much about this show, but there's an incredible moment, and I'm sure a lot of you have probably already seen the clip, a clip or clips on social media. But there's an incredible moment in this show. Again, I'm not a huge How to Train Your Dragon person. I think it's fine. If it was on TV, I'd watch it, but it's not something I seek out, if you will. But anyway, I was the show starts off pretty good. I'm like, okay, this is a great show. Music's great, performers are great. A dragon they bring out on stage, really cool. And then there's this just like, it's like I'm assuming, granted we didn't get to finish the show, but I'm assuming what is like probably the climax and pinnacle of the show happens like halfway through the show. So what happens, Hiccup and Toothless land on the stage, and then Toothless, all of a sudden there's an announcement saying, "Oh, the show, this showing of the Unchained Dragon, has come to an end. We apologize for the inconvenience."
So
yada yada yada.
It stops.
They killed the lights on the stage. Hiccup finishes hopping off of Toothless. And they pick Toothless up, drag him over up top, and yank him over to the side there. And it's just super awkward because you just experienced this really cool moment, and this awesome, incredible, fantastic, just the type of thing that would stick in a kid's brain, and they'd remember it for the rest of their life. Of just being wow, that was magic.
Yeah,
that was magic. Sorry, I've got
and
some
then it just ends. Just
and then just rug pulls. It's a big time rug pull.
Yeah.
They killed the show. That's the other piece is, come up with a good way to come up with an excuse for an in-universe reason for why the show's stopped.
Right.
If it's an issue with the Toothless animatronic, I'm assuming that's what it is. I don't know if it's a big puppet or what, but anyway, if you're having issues with it, just say, Toothless is being hard-headed today. Unfortunately, he needs to go rest. He's such a, cue the voice of Hiccup in an announcement saying, it's a real bummer that, sometimes it's just really hard to work with dragons, and come up with some way to sell it, because you've just brought this character to life. Yeah, shoot. I guess I've poked around it enough at this point. Hiccup rides Toothless above the crowd, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a show ever. You know, I've seen Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, where they drop the chandelier or whatever, or they kind of swing the gigantic chandelier, and it's awesome. But you know, again, if I was a huge How to Train Your Dragon person, the fact that you can watch Hiccup fly toothless over the top of the crowd, and we were sitting in the middle, so we had a great vantage point. I've got video, even though I wasn't supposed to. I have video regardless, because they said, you know,
I'd like to,
no filming. But it's incredibly magical. It's just so cool. And then he lands him on stage, and then the show's over. So super bummed. You know, obviously at this point in our day, you know, the wait times have been egregiously long for, you know, a family of 4, you know, with a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. You know, when the wait times are all over 45 minutes, except for, you know, really all over an hour. When they're all over an hour, and you got a 2 and a 6-year-old, and you know, we even looked at the Express Pass. We wouldn't have bought it, but we took a look. You know, we did take a look, try to look at Express Passes, but they weren't even available to purchase that same day. But anyway, you know, we did the Constellation Carousel, and it was like 25 minutes, which they need to figure out how to get that ride, as many people on that ride every single time as they, you know, it takes way too long to get folks on and off that ride, the Constellation Carousel. And then the other thing is there were like 5 ride vehicles that didn't even have people on them whenever we rode. And it's like, that's like 10 people that should be on the ride and are not on the ride. They weren't roped off or anything. They just didn't have people in them.
Right.
And so they have to figure out how to get, you know, full loads of folks on every single ride, because that would cut down on wait times.
When I rode Stardust Racers, I was going to do single rider. Single rider, y'all, is a great way to go at Universal. We learned this years and years ago.
Yeah.
When I walked up to Constellation or to Stardust Racers, the single rider line was closed.
Yeah.
And so I walked up, and I'm standing there looking up at the sign, and you know, one of the crew members says, you know, I'm really sorry. He said, you know, I said, the single rider line is closed, and he said, yes, ma'am, we didn't have enough crew members to open it today.
Yeah.
Let that one sink in.
Yeah.
You've just opened the park, you know, and we're going to talk about this. You know, we're going to let's go ahead and finish right quick, William. And
so the show dies, and at this point, you know, we're pretty low. You know, we just had to come inside. The wait times were too high in the land to really do anything else. And so, but our big time consolation prize was that the show ended early. They had a team member outside the show handing out single attraction passes. Now, the caveat with that, so basically it's like having an express pass, but for only one ride. So I held on to those. I got one, White got one. But yeah, at this point we're pretty bummed. And then the rain starts and the rides go down. And I'm like, what in the world are we supposed to do now? So anyway, we get our stroller, we get loaded up, we get ponchos on. It's raining decently hard. And I'm looking at the app trying to decide, what are we going to do? So we end up going to, what is it? Le Cirque de Arcanus, which is the Street Magic. But I will say I did appreciate them giving out single passes, but back to the caveat for the single attraction pass. Can't use it for Ministry Magic, of course. You can't use it for Donkey Kong, of course. Which is like the 2 rides have the longest wait times in the whole park. Yeah. So anyway, we ended up using for Mario Kart, which I'll come back to. But So again, Wyatt and I are wondering what in the world are we going to do? We're kind of bummed. It's been hot. We're a little bit tired. Wait times are super high. We're trying to figure out what to do. So we end up going to the Cirque de Arcanus. I can't remember if that's the actual name or not. But let's see. I don't see it in our notes, but
I don't see it in the notes.
Let's assume I'm correct, and that's the name of the show. I do know Arcanus in it. But anyway, it's interesting. The premise of that show is there's a circus leader, and he has a bad relationship with Newt Scamander of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them fame. So anyway, Newt Scamander has stolen. He has taken, or I guess repossessed, if you will, taken all of the circus ringleaders' animals from him, because apparently he wasn't treating them properly, and he got in trouble. But anyway, he has somebody steal the Newt Scamander's briefcase back from him. One of the ringleader's assistants feels the suitcase shake. She's a squib, which means she's a non-magical person. And she feels the briefcase shake. She opens it up, and out comes, one of the creature. And so then she's trying to figure out how to get the creature back in the suitcase. And then she figures out, I can go into this suitcase. And then she meets a bunch of other creatures. It's a neat show. There were a couple parts of that show that I was like, what are we doing here? Like what show am I watching? Like, are they serious right now? This is not incredibly entertaining. So there were a couple of parts I was just like, meh. But there are some really cool parts of the show also. So anyway, overall, it was definitely worth doing. We enjoyed it. Afterwards, we went to Cosme. It's Acajor. I don't know the French pronunciation, but this is Kali and Mom's bag from Cosme Acajor. We did not get a fancy bag. Maybe because we just bought a second generation or a first generation wand. So Wyatt wanted. What'd you say?
Kali bought the second generation Hermione Granger wand.
Wyatt wanted Ron Weasley. We already have Harry, but Wyatt wanted Ron Weasley's wand. They replaced the old map with a new map that includes the Ministry. So here's the newer map here. So it's got Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade on one side, and then it has the Ministry of Magic on the other.
Very nice.
Pretty sweet map. So now, did you pair your wand with your app?
No, not yet.
You'll have to do that next time. So this is Ron's wand here. Pretty neat.
It is.
But Wyatt wanted Ron's wand. And so that's what we got. So there's only, I think, seven options for the new Generation 2, as they're calling them, second generation ones. They have Harry, Hermione, and Dumbledore. And then I think they have 4 options for non-character wands that are just specific to the Ministry land, I think.
Right.
But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll up that number at some point, But here's Mom's and Kylie's here. It's Hermione Granger. The box is box comparison. Fairly similar. The new boxes are a little bit longer. But some nice accents on the box here.
Yeah, very pretty.
And you get a nice little here's your map. second generation interactive wand. Extra little piece of paper in here. You got little, I don't know what you call this, little a tool or something. I don't know what you call
Ribbon.
Ribbon.
To cover it.
Ribbon covering it. And then Hermione's wand has always been very pretty. The little flower. It's very ornate. The little leaves on it. It's very, very nice. But yeah, so this, you should, the cool thing about the second generation wands is that you can pair it up with your universal app and you can cast different spells. And I think they cause it, to interact a little bit differently when you use the spells.
Yes, it is.
But you can use your app for that. Also, too, I think it keeps track of which points you've interacted with, I want to say. Here we go. So, how to cast spells, yada, yada, yada. With the wand ready, stand at the medallion and face in the direction it points. Raise your wand and trace the shape of the spell symbol through the air while reciting the spell. Keep your wand straight and steady as you concisely cast the gesture. If you make the correct gesture with your wand and recite the spell, magic will happen. If you do not succeed at first, keep practicing to improve your wand skills. Let's see. It says, with your second generation interactive wand, you can personalize your wizarding journey, participate in adventures, unlock additional spells, and more. So this is 100% up my alley, and I'll have to do it at some point. But anyway, we had a lot of fun. There's a lot of neat little animatronics in the Ministry of Magic section. For the wands. The first generation wands still work just fine with those windows. The interactive wand windows. So that was good to see. Again, I would have to do some personal testing to see really what all of the advantages of the second generation wand are over the first. But it was really neat.
You can pair your second generation wand to the app, choose your house, and that's then cool. as the wand works, you get some haptic feedback.
Yeah. I think it lights up too, maybe at the end.
It lights up in the color of your house, your chosen house.
Very cool.
The tip. So several things there. We didn't. Kylie kind of wandered off with the wand.
Yeah.
And I was live streaming, so I wasn't able to,
pair
that up. But at any rate, that's something for another trip.
Yeah.
The ministry, I will have to say, the Ministry of Magic, when we first went into the park, you can check out our live stream. It is mostly there in the Ministry of Magic area. The ride went down as we're opening the live stream. The crew member is announcing that the ride is down. So I took that opportunity to walk around a little bit and show you there's some amazing restaurants there as well as all of the different interactive windows with the wands. It's really impressive. The ministry is really impressive. But at one point, I walked back over around to where the ride was, and it was open. And so I thought, well, there is a single rider line for this. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. Oh, excuse me. There's a single rider line for this, as well as just if you want to just walk through. If you don't want to get in line for the ride, but you want to see the ministry, you can do that. So I got in the line in the live stream and went through. Y'all, this is utterly amazing. It looks identical to the Ministry of Magic in the movie. That you walk through the Metro Flu is how you get in, and it does all of the things that it does. I have a short that I need to put up showing that. It's really impressive. And so there's the Metro Flu, and it's just a lot of fun. This you can see how this place is enormous. It's extremely impressive. They're the people in the standby line there, and it's just amazing. Now the ministry ride itself, you're there for the day of the trial of Dolores Umbridge is what you're there for, and so Dolores Umbridge, is up on this big screen. It's absolutely amazing. I went ahead and got into the single rider line, and I actually ended the stream in that because they won't let you live stream on the ride. So I ended the live stream, but I was in line with a really sweet couple that we talked to a lot, and she told me after I ended the live stream that she had texted her that she figured out, where my YouTube channel, because she realized that we were live streaming, and sent her mom the link so that she could see what they were doing. But anyway, really sweet couple. I was in line for probably an hour, maybe a little over, and this was single rider because it had been up and down. The ride had been up and down. So Universal has some issues that they really need to fix. I'm sure that they will fix them. I will say that for those of us who are Disney fans, the frustration that we felt, say when they opened Rise of the Resistance, they had technical difficulties with it. They don't have those as much anymore because they've solved them. But that frustration over one ride going down so much is multiplied by an entire park in Universal Studios. So there were some incredibly frustrating moments because of incorrect signage, and you didn't realize that you needed to empty your pockets out, and then you had to walk all the way back, to the locker and put everything in. There were some really frustrating instances when I was finally called to get on the ride from the single rider line. I boarded with the rest of the the group of people, and I literally snapped my seatbelt, was ready to ride. The ride operator pressed the button for us to go, and nothing happened. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up, guys. It's like it was the same thing with Toothless. You have this amazing moment and then nothing. That's exactly what happened to me on the Ministry ride.
Yeah.
You have this, wow. I mean, look at this place, y'all. It's unbelievable what they've done here. And then I get on the ride, snap I'm ready to go. I've been waiting for an hour, it was down, it's back up, waited for the hour, blah, 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 ready to go. He presses the button, nothing happens. So one of the crew members says, "Oh, we're going to have to, ask you to disembark, but we're going to ask you to, stand here in the loading area, and we'll get you on the next one." Okay. Yeah. Stood there for about 10 more minutes. By this time, I'm dying to go to the restroom. So I asked one of the crew members that she said, "Oh yeah, you go up these stairs, you go down these stairs. At the bottom of the stairs, there's a bathroom. There are always stairs involved."
Yeah.
So I did that. I got in line, and it was male female restroom, but just the one. Well, I got in line with about 10 other moms who were equally as frustrated about the rest. So everybody is griping to everybody else about, this one mom that was in front of me had been there yesterday, waited for 2.5 hours to ride that ride. Did not get to ride it. It went down. So they gave her a coupon to return today. And she had been waiting again all day long to ride it.
Oh no.
So crew members were dealing with all of this as well as they could. I really feel sorry for the crew members because in many instances they're probably taking the brunt of a lot of frustrated guests. At any rate, so I finally got to use the restroom, went back up the stairs, back down the stairs, and it was a pretty good hike back to the loading area. So as I come to just to the bottom of the stairs and step onto the actual loading area, a literal fist fight breaks out in the line across the. I mean, I've never actually seen a fight, I don't think, at a theme park, but a fist fight broke out, and so I asked one of the little couple, the guy that was the little couple that I had been talking to in line. By the time you stood there with all these people for an hour, I feel like I need to send them, like fruitcakes for Christmas or something like that. And I said, what happened? And he said, well, there were these three guys who came down they just pushed their way through the line to the front and just stood there. Well, naturally, the people who were already in line said, you can't.
Yeah, no line jumping.
You can't do that, and I went into highlight some of these comments. Said you can't do that. And they just started throwing punches. The line jumpers just went ballistic and started throwing punches. Okay, so the crew members dealt with this as well as they could to try and, break it up until security could get there.
And what's wild is all this is happening. Me and Wyatt are taking pictures, like kind of lingering. We're gradually making our way out of the land, and we're there close to the big bird, the entrance / exit to the land, and we probably saw the law enforcement officers that ended up responding to that coming into the land as we were exiting. So there's a good chance that's exactly what happened, and those were the people responding to that situation. Because those were around the same exact time.
Right, and it likely was.
Yeah.
So security showed up and escorted them out, still screaming, still. They lost it. They totally lost it. And we had been there all day long. We had been frustrated, hot, all the things. And, I'm not going to start throwing punches, guys.
Come on.
So at any rate, but it did add, I'll have to say it added some, an element of entertainment to it. I hated it. I hated it for the cast members, for everybody that was in line. But anyway, that's what happened. So I finally sat down on the floor there in the loading area. I just sat down on the floor because I was so tired at that point. Yes, the sense of entitlement is epic.
Yeah.
Exactly, Tina. You hit the nail on the head there. I sat down in the loading area. It was probably 15 more minutes. So at this point, we're probably pushing 2 hours.
Yeah.
Easily, definitely an hour and a half. I finally get to ride the ride. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, I thought it was really good. I despise Dolores Umbridge in the book. She's one of those characters that, I can't remember the name of the actress who plays her, but she does a fantastic job
Yes, she does.
Of making you hate Dolores Umbridge. So I really, again, I really enjoyed it, but it was a lot. I mean, by the time you've got a fist fight, you're exhausted from standing on stairs in the queue
Yeah.
line. Was it worth 2 hours? Well, Tina, at that point, this ride for me, it was. I'll just have to say, because we are such huge Harry Potter fans, and because what they've done with this ride in recreating the Ministry of Magic with the Metro flu, and going through the fireplaces, with flu, that's how you get in there. It's incredible. I loved it. I did pass the time by talking to this sweet little couple, who was there behind me after I finished live streaming. So I was live streaming part of the time. It was a long, it was a long time. It was, but I'm really glad that I was able to ride it. I'm thrilled that I was able to ride it. So, excuse me, for me, it was, it was definitely worth it. Now, I will have to say, again, they have a lot of problems to work out with this park.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try to wrap this up here fairly soon, because I know it's pretty far past how we go. But Universal, this is not their first rodeo by any stretch. I will have to say they had a shot here to really yank Disney's chain, if you will. They had a shot here to really knock this out of the park, and pun intended, and just hit the ground running, do a great job, and impress everybody, and it be all the things that I'm sure they wanted it to be. They have messed that up, in my opinion, because so many of now I understand, y'all. I get that it's a new park, and new parks are going to have problems. I understand that, but let us not forget that they've had well over a month of soft opening.
Yeah.
My opinion, and we talked about this, William, this park was not ready to open on the 22nd.
Yeah.
So, and again, they've made some mistakes with these, with these smaller coasters that are single track.
Yeah.
Who would build a single track coaster?
Yeah.
In a park like this anymore? That makes no sense to me. Lot of problems, a lot of signage issues. I'm sure that they'll work a lot of it out.
Yeah.
Would I go back? Yes, I would. I would love to go back when they have a lot of the problems worked out.
I mean, shoot, if
they
you're
got right,
yeah.
They got really right.
Oh yeah.
They have all the pieces there to have an amazing park. And what I saw of the really, really wow stuff is enough to draw me back, in spite of the fact that they're having technical difficulties.
Yeah. So here's my 2 cents on it. When there's rain / lightning, and the way that we beat that situation was we did the Harry Potter Ministry show, and we did we went around and did some of the wand spell casting windows. Mm-hmm. That's how we beat the rain. We had ponchos on, and then that we went and played with the wand that Wyatt bought. So my main critiques of Epic are there needs to be better signage. I feel like it would be very difficult for people that are not tech savvy to navigate some of the things, like, going into Toadstool Cafe. Oh, there's a QR code on the table. What the heck's a QR code? If you're not very tech savvy.
And how do I access it?
Yeah. Not everybody.
And it's the only way to order. They don't take orders.
Yeah.
Same thing at Pizza Moon.
But yeah, really, signage needs to be better, for sure, all around, to help people have a good experience. And then the other thing too is it's just like we said with Rise, whenever Rise was having all the issues, after it had opened, is it worth creating an attraction at that level? If it has so many issues, it can't run regularly to put people through it. Is it worth it? Because if you have so many technical difficulties, think of Pirates of the Caribbean. That thing's been running, for forever.
Yes.
Still captivates guests. Very basic animatronics still captivates guests to this day. Still one of my favorite. It's still my favorite. Magic Kingdom attraction.
Right. Same thing with Haunted Mansion.
But it's just I understand the delivering and the complexity. When it works, it's incredible. But when it's not working, it makes everybody's day worse. From team members to guests to the mechanics that are working on the ride to try to get it back up again.
So they opened themselves up to a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
That I feel like if they had waited, if they had even said, you know what, we're not show ready here.
Yeah.
We're not gonna open on the 22nd. I feel like they would have. Can they recover? Sure they can.
Oh, they can.
Tina makes an excellent point.
Yeah.
They'll be ironing it all out just about the time Magic Kingdom is going to be half closed down.
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna open up that wound tonight, but they have announced a date. It's coming up in our news section. They have announced a date for the closing of Tom Sawyer Island, Rivers of America, and the Liberty Belle. And because of the construction of refurbishment of Big Thunder and construction right behind it of Villains Land, they've got Big Thunder Mountain is closed. And then Tina says Epcot is going to be Walcott again too. Hopefully Universal will be ironing these problems out. Yeah. About that time. So there's that.
But yeah, so my main points of feedback are too much of this park gets closed when it rains / lightnings. And
everything's outdoors. So many things are outdoors. Yeah, Ministry of Magic is inside.
Yeah, signage. The fact that so much the park goes down whenever there's lightning or rain. Those are two really big, the main feedback. The other thing too is loading every single ride with as many people, at full capacity. Yes. Every time.
Get people through there.
It's when every single ride is 60 minutes and up, something's not right. Yeah. Either you're admitting too many people into the park, which again we didn't have the luxury of. Opening day, about almost everything except I think for Ministry of Magic was practically a walk-on because they wanted everybody to have a great experience opening day. Yeah. We did not have that luxury. When everything is 60 minutes and up, minus Yoshi, which is basically Mario People Mover, and Constellation Carousel, which is a neat carousel, but It's a carousel.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever everything except for those 2 rides is 60 minutes and up, it doesn't make for a good time for anybody. So anyway, they got to get their operations hammered out. But
yes,
the other piece is there are a couple of expansion pads for this park, and they put medallions on a fence near the front of the park. They have the medallions representing each of the lands. There are 2 expansion pads that are available. Potential portals maybe. But there are 2 more. And they even have circles where medallions could go on the fence to go with the other lands. So there's lots of speculation that this is only the beginning, which they've said as much. Up to this point, they've been saying as much as this.
yes.
This isn't the end. This is the beginning. So
right.
There are 2 plots, and one of those plots is massive. Massive. There's an account called BioReconstruct that has posted a lot of pictures of, like aerial shots and stuff from during the construction of the park and everything. But one of those expansion pads is just massive. And so there have been a couple of things floating around, rumors. Rumors have floated around related to Legend of Zelda, which honestly, really, in my opinion, the Legends of Zelda stuff, it's again, this is like Super Nintendo World related. That's one of the rumors. But really, in my opinion, I think all the Zelda stuff would go much better in the section that's the Lost Continent. They no longer have Poseidon's Fury. They don't have the Sinbad. They don't have the Sinbad show going. That section really needs some love.
It does.
In my opinion, all the Zelda stuff would go better and fit better thematically. They wouldn't have to do as heavy of a lift to retheme that area to Zelda. So that, in my mind, they're better off putting Zelda there than they are expanding Super Nintendo World and adding Zelda there. Now, again, it is Super Nintendo World, and they do have Link up as one of the stained glass characters on this little shop facade there just to the right of the portal entrance for Super Nintendo World. So that's one of the rumors. The other rumor, and again, there is a gigantic expansion pad. The other rumor is Lord of the Rings. And the expansion pad is so big that people have already, Universal Imagineered what they could do with the space. You could have the Shire. You could have
would be
which is where the hobbits are.
Wow.
You can have Rivendell, where the elves are from. You could have Mordor, which obviously that's where Sauron's tower is, and the volcano where they throw the ring in.
That would be nuts.
Mordor with the orcs and everything, Sauron and his forces, and then you could have Gondor as the other one, and people have already kind of mapped it out, and it'd be insane.
Yeah,
if they managed to do that.
It would be. Yeah.
But those are 2 kind of, there's 2 pads, and they got 2 spots where medallions can go. But those are kind of what we've seen floated around, or what I've seen floated around on social media. Now, how much credit, can you give that? It's something you saw on the internet, so take it with a grain of salt. But you never know. The other piece is, and really, in my opinion, they've announced the worlds or the lands for Universal Kids Resort that'll be going in at Frisco. I still think they're ace in the hole. I still think the ace in the hole is Pokemon. Because at this point, I mean, Pokemon's got a lot bigger, much bigger following than How to Train Your Dragon or so many other intellectual properties that they've utilized. Yeah, I've seen people speculate that Disney's acquired Fox. Maybe at some point they'll retheme the Simpsons area to Pokemon, but I would just be beside myself, and I would love to see what they come up with if they ended up utilizing Pokemon at some point. But that would be a huge draw. All the people with the wands and robes and stuff. You'd see people with Pokemon trainer hats, Pokemon shirts, probably interactive Pokeballs. I mean, it would be a substantial merch draw, just like all the Harry Potter stuff is right now.
It definitely would. So we'll see what happens. What happens with that. I think the big one obviously is Lord of the Rings, which would be just absolutely incredible for them to have Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. That's just nuts.
So do they have access to Pokemon? Tina asked. Universal Studios Japan has incorporated Pokemon into some of their parades. So that gives you a little bit of it shows they at least have a little bit of draw, a little bit of power. Now granted, Pokemon, that's where Pokemon's based out of, is Japan. So anyway, I think their US headquarters may be in Seattle, but Pokemon, originated out of Japan. So we'll see. I in my mind, if they got enough leverage to have Mario and Donkey Kong there, that's not too big of a leap to bring Pokemon fully into the fold rather than just have parade and characters. So we shall see.
Yeah. So, and if not, guys, the Cosmos Fountain Show is sort of their finale. It's a water show. It's a huge water show because this area is so big. It's very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The music is original. And towards the end of the show, they pay homage to each land. There's a wonderful, comfortable amphitheater there, for you to watch the show. It's the music is very heartwarming, and so is the narration. So you actually get that Disney-esque pull of the heartstrings on that. So just it's really neat. Wanted to mention that, and I did record that, so I'll be putting up a video of that show, hopefully pretty soon. Oh, pardon my yawn again. It's getting late. We need to wrap this thing up. Just a couple more things. This is this gorgeous, visually, it's just stunning. This is the goddess Luna, and there was a crescent moon in the nighttime sky. And I asked William to take this shot with that crescent moon. This is absolutely beautiful, fairly large piece in that particular area. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. It is visually gorgeous. They've got a lot of things to work out, which I'm sure, that they will. Looking forward to that. And I would definitely go back. There are a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to spend more time in Harry Potter, in the Harry Potter area. I need to go to How to Train Your Dragon. Never made it over there. But I, even with the frustrations of the day and the heat, I enjoyed this enough that I look forward to going back. So
agreed. I would love to go back. I would love to go back specifically with my younger brother.
Yeah.
It's been a while since he's been to the Universal parks in general. But he's a gamer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he enjoys Harry
I think
Potter.
he'd love it.
He's not
Yeah.
as into Harry Potter as I am, but I sent video. You know, I used Snapchat to send video to him and my older brother, and Adam was just like, "Man, everything you sent video of," he's like, "visually, it's just
Oh yeah,
very
it
impressive
is.
what they've done here."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And Adam, having the theater background that
Yeah,
he has, I think would be doubly impressed with a
yeah,
lot of this. I really
yeah.
do.
Agreed.
Um,
I think he'd have
so,
a lot of fun. You know, he's big into Mario too, so
mhm,
I think he'd
mhm,
have a lot of fun. It'd be fun, you know, punching blocks together
yeah.
with him and collecting
Mhm,
keys and beating Bowser Jr.
yeah.
Oh, that was the other piece that I forgot to mention. So we collected our 3 keys and we went and faced Bowser Jr. Again, you could only do that if you get the keys, which you have to have a power up band to do.
Mhm, mhm,
So what happened was you go in to do the challenge. It's a really neat themed area. I'm sure maybe if you asked, they might let you walk it. I don't know. I mean, there's not necessarily a ton to see per se, but it's a cool exclusive area for people that got the power up bands and got 3 keys. So um, anyway, me and Wyatt went in. Wyatt did not have his 3 keys, but you get a +1, so you get you plus one other person. So Wyatt was my +1, and then went ahead and let him play it also. So you walk in. There's when you actually play the game to challenge Bowser Jr. Um, you've got your shadow, your silhouettes up on a screen. There are bombs that fall. You know, he's dropping bombs on you. You got to swat the bombs away. So you're swatting them, and so it's kind of like the old Soarin' ride line queue, like where you could move around and it see your body moving around like in the line and see everybody else moving around in the line. I don't know if that's still a thing because I haven't ridden Soarin' in a very long time, but there for a period of time they had a big like camera that showed like everybody's silhouettes and interactive and stuff. But anyway, Bowser Jr. drops bombs on you and you swat them away. There are bullet bills that get shot across the screen also, and you have to duck down to dodge the bullet bill. Um, there's a power up at one point where you get the fire flower, and so you flick your wrist and you're throwing fireballs, which is super cool. Uh,
mhm.
and I was doing like this to like just spamming, throwing the fireballs. And also too, you can try to swat the bombs back at Bowser Jr. as he kind of floats around on the screen. And I was throwing fireballs at Bowser Jr. Just rapid fire. I got the
Mhm.
high score out of everybody that went.
Neat.
Uh, but
Neat.
it was super cool. At one point, I think you get the superstar. Also, uh,
Fun.
I got hit by a bullet bill and it shrunk me and made me little at one point, and I had to jump up and on the screen punch a block and to make me regular size again. But that was super funny when it made me tiny because my silhouette got tiny.
Mhm.
Uh, but anyway, it was a really neat, super fun, interactive experience. Great way to cap off, getting using these bands and walking around and playing in that
Right.
section of the park.
The bands are $45 a piece. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So they're a
And
little
I'll have to
pricey
tell
too.
everybody, what all I'm able to do with
Yeah.
with it as an
Yeah.
amiibo.
So
But
if you are though, a true Super Mario fan, I feel like
it's
that
a blast.
experience and it would be worth it.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
a
do.
blast.
Just to be able to do that is just brings it all to life. Um, and Disney Universal News, How to Train Your Dragon, guys, is going to be back in theaters June the 13th. Our local Cinemark, I looked it up, has showings for the 12th. So keep in mind that you can see that in theaters again, which is, I'm sure, Universal's point in making this one of the lands for Epic.
Oh yeah, for 100%.
Uh,
It's a live action version. Um, so
yeah.
I think Gerard Butler is
Mhm.
Hiccup's dad.
Should be
Uh,
fun.
yeah, so it's live action How to Train Your
Yeah.
Dragon.
So there's a new one, a new piece there to really revive this story line. Also, we're not going to go into a whole lot of detail on it tonight. We will do that a little bit later, but dates have been announced. For the closing of Walt Disney World's Tom Sawyer Island, Rivers of America, and the Liberty Belle, it is July the 6th of this year. All of this will be replaced by a Cars area.
Piston Peak.
It's so they are actually going through with this. I had hoped that they would come to their senses on this and not rip out this area, but I guess not. So again, we'll talk about this a little bit more in detail. Disney's Facebook post today says, take a look at Piston Peak National Park coming to Frontierland at Walt Disney World, inspired by the history and iconic sites of the American frontier. So they're reaching again, guys. They're really reaching here.
They've already revised the previous released concept artwork to include a little bit more water than there was previously.
Yeah. This will also mark the end of the Mark Twain themed area, which was an opening day attraction. Disneyland's Tom Sawyer Island was rethemed to Pirate's Lair May 25th of 2007 when Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End came out. So again, we'll try to cover all that at a later date. This is a big one for me. So we'll talk about that. That we just keep taking hits on Frontierland, and so their intent here is pretty clear. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Walt Disney World's new nighttime parade. They've released some more concept art for that. When you wish upon a star, a dazzling new nighttime parade descends into Magic Kingdom Park. Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away starts shining July the 20th, 2025 at Magic Kingdom Park. So I am looking forward to that. And
Jillian's scheduled to be there 2 days after it starts.
So, hopefully she can get a live stream of that for us.
Yeah, she's already got her park reservation for that day, the 22nd.
Really great. So pretty concept art.
Very excited. This is one of those things that we've been talking about for a long time about.
It is.
About how Magic Kingdom needs a nighttime parade. So very excited that they're bringing this to us.
And has for some time.
Yeah.
Has for some time for sure. So at any rate, that's pretty much it for our review. We've gone a little bit longer, but it had a good bit to say. It's a brand new park, and so there was a lot to cover. Let's see, we're losing Muppets. We are, There's a lot. There's a lot, and we've talked about. We've covered a lot of it, Jonathan. We have not talked as much about Tom Sawyer Island and Rivers of America because I just I thought surely they would come to their senses and not do that. I much prefer that they would do an expansion and put Cars Land somewhere else, but it's obvious that we, again, boy, do we hate being right all the time, that they are dismantling Frontierland. So at any rate, we'll talk about that a little bit more later and what their plans are on that. It's kind of late. We want to just skip the Lorcana tonight.
Yeah, I'll skip it.
We'll just skip that for tonight. And but guys, check out our recent live streams again from Epic Universe with a look at the mini history of magic, and our other live streams from Walt Walt Disney World during our trip. We had a really, really great trip. We'll talk about the Disney portion of it next week. But we also have some really good YouTube shorts. I'm going to be putting up, as much as I can push out there in the next couple of weeks on this trip. Really have enjoyed it. Always have a fantastic time. So, and I will post a video. Oh, sorry. Pardon me. I think that's y'all number 4. I'm not sure what number we're on. But I'll post a video of the Cosmos Fountain Show at Epic Universe. I did do a full video of that nightly finale in Celestial Park. So again, let's see. Let me copy this into the chat. This is a link to our to the live stream at the Ministry of Magic. They're at Epic. I'm trying to think. If you need to plan a Disney, trip, guys, by all means, remember Jillian is a Mickey Travels travel agent. If she can help you plan a vacation, there are for 2025, and they're already scheduling for 2026. Her contact information is in the description of this video. So give her a call. She can do Disney, Universal. She can do Disney cruises. Lots of pieces there that she can do. So by all means, check the description of this video for her contact information. We appreciate you guys, especially for hanging in there. Ran kind of long, but we really appreciate you guys for hanging in there with us. Hope the yawn jar, right? We hope the information has been helpful to you. So
yeah, we had a really good time.
We did. We try to be, we try to give you the good and the bad to just, prepare you if you're gonna go.
It's valuable to hear from people like us. We're not, we're not Disney media, or we probably won't ever be. But we're not Disney media. We're not Universal media. We're not, we're honest in our feedback of, the things that were really good and also the things that weren't so good. So, it's fun to watch some of the bigger channels, but you to an extent, you have to kind of take some of their stuff with a grain of salt, because, at the end of the day, they're being compensated.
They're Disney media.
They're part of media. So they, can only express their opinions up to a certain extent. In an effort to preserve their, status as media. So, anyway, we had a good time. The theming's phenomenal. The line queues for so many attractions are just amazing. Welcome in, Dave. But it's overall, really
it's really stunning by all means.
Hopefully they can fix what they can fix. We'll, the jury's out. We'll see what lands we end up with. We'll, obviously stay tuned in. We'll update you when we hear something. But
I wish that they had been. I truly wish that they had been further along. Before they opened, it does bother me. The thing that bothers me is the fact that they had well over a month of soft opening to get some of this right. And I really would have expected Universal to do that. Because of the build up for this park. The expectations are very high, especially since Disney's dropped the ball on so many things recently, and they're still dropping the ball. Doing things that Disney, diehards like us are not real pleased with. We'd like to see expansions instead of rethemings of rides, things of that nature. So we'll go more into that next week. try to avoid the gripe fest, but sometimes it's kind of hard, when you're passionate
But
about the park.
they've done a whole lot right. They've done a whole lot very, very well with Epic. And hopefully they can hammer out some of the operational issues.
Yes,
some of the technological issues. But I really wish we'd have been in the grace period window of lower capacity to be able to do. Like I said, I think most everything opening day was a walk on minus ministry. So that I can't fathom that, seeing as when we were there, most everything was 60 minutes or more.
Anyway, if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to send us an email at the hitchhikingbones@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, X, and Instagram. So you can send us direct message on Instagram. And we would love to hear from you. If you have any, thoughts or, just whatever, anything, thoughts on this deal, Disney, Universal, or, suggestions, for us to share, with people on, maybe you've been and you have some opinions or tips, that kind of thing. We're always interested in that. So contact us. And guys, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Thanks to Joy and Aunt Susan, Coco Bears, Mandy Adams, Dean the Turkey Lecture, Texas Takes, the Curtis family, T. McNeil, AJC Magic TV, Lucy Grace 56, newer name to our chat. Thanks for being here, Lucy. And the Curtis family, also fairly newer name to our chat. Thanks for being here. R. John's great. I'm excited that Mom got to see you at Epic. Najuma Brown, J&N Travels, Dave Averino, Jonathan Chung, and Adventures by D. If I missed your name, I apologize. Do the best I can to keep track of everybody's names as they comment. If I did miss you, let me know, and I thank you properly for being here. But we really appreciate your support. Again, this is our honest feedback. We are normal people. We paid our way to get into this park. So they did a whole lot very, very well. Excellent. Phenomenally well. If they could just hammer out some of the operational and technological snafus, and especially knowing that they have 2 potential lands in their back pocket, this park's going to be awesome for years to come.
Yeah, it will. It will. Totally will. Again, happy birthday, Susan. I hope you had a fantastic day. And I can't think of anything else.
All right. I think that's it. Remember,
have a great week. Join us next week for Walt Disney World.
Yeah. We had a great time, wonderful vacation. But
definitely
it was a lot of fun. And I with everything that went on, the rain, the How to Train Your Dragon show going down, wait times being through the roof. I talked to Wyatt at the end of the day, because he was very excited to do Epic. We didn't tell him that we were going to Epic Universe till the night before, because he, when you tell him stuff and you tell him too far out, he'll ask you about it every single day.
A million times.
Until, how many more days until we do this? So anyway, we're like, okay, we're gonna sit on this.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome in, Kevin. We're gonna sit on this till closer to when we're going. So we told him the night before. He was so thrilled. Again, the rain, some of the issues that we ran into. I asked him at the end of the day, did you have a good time today? Did you have fun today at Epic Universe? And he said, Daddy, it was the best day. And so it was, all the other stuff goes out the window.
For our kids, so much of it depends on how we react.
Yeah.
It really does. So that's great.
So
and that's what we want.
All the negative stuff paled in comparison at that moment when he said, Daddy, I had the best day. I was like, okay, well,
There you go.
we're doing all right then.
There you go. There you go. Kevin, welcome in. We appreciate it, guys. Thanks so
Yeah.
much to our ghost host. As usual, and our members, our channel members. We love you guys and appreciate you so much. It totally is, right? It totally is, right,
Yeah.
Dave? Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you. And have y'all been to Epic? Are you planning a trip? We'll have to get with you on that. That's all you can ask for. That's the whole.
Yeah.
That's why we go, Jonathan. Is to make those memories and just enjoy spending time together and I feel like I really feel like Universal has a pretty good grasp on that. I think they have a good bead on their target audiences and the quality, the top experience that they want to bring. And obviously with this with Epic Universe, the bar is very high. So they'll catch up. They'll fix a lot of it, and this is going to be this is just going to continue. I think this park is going to continue to get better. I would go back, even with all the mechanical problems and issues that they're having. I would go back tomorrow to spend some more time in there. So that's bottom line. That it, William?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, if you got any other questions, if you're going to Epic or if you want to know anything else about our experience, feel free to send us a direct message on Instagram. Or email us at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com. We'll be glad to tell you, what we thought. Obviously we talked a whole bunch about, let's see. Yeah, there you go. Right. We'll be more than glad to give you our honest thoughts about our experience at Epic. So again, thanks to everybody for being here. We really appreciate you. You got a lot of ways you can spend your time on a Tuesday night. We really appreciate y'all spending it with us. So if you watch on the replay, make sure to let us know. Send us, leave a comment. Let us know what what you're most looking forward to about it. Visiting Epic Universe at some point. But remember, I hope you're all doing well. Remember, at the Hitchhiking Bones YouTube channel, there's always room for one more. So please,
hurry back.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, y'all.
Bye, everybody. See you next week, if not sooner.